Okay, so laying it down on a little cushion, arms up overhead, feet together, knees relaxing, open and apart. I want you to just really let those knees drop, sinking into the hips, arms up overhead, where you can just be comfortable, relaxing nice and wide. You're going to take some nice deep inhales through the nose and exhales through the mouth. Inhale deeply through the nose, softening into the spine, expanding into the ribs, breathing through that nose. And exhale. Taking your arms into a cactus position where they bend at 90 degrees, opening wide between the two collarbones, and taking 3 more deep breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. And exhale. Last one, breathing in through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. Joining your knees together, you're going to lift them up to the chest, giving them a gentle little hug where it feels good for you, and rock your hips and pelvis side to side. From there, you're going to center it, and you're going to extend and release one leg, stretch it nice and long as you draw the other leg in towards you, and then switch and change. As one knee comes in, reach and extend the other leg long. If there's any lower back issues and this is a problem, you can rest that foot on the floor. Try stretch and bend, keeping the other leg on the floor. Okay, maybe a little bit less pressure of weight. So this is the single leg stretch, and we want to draw up through the knee as we stretch through the other legs, knee and thigh. Getting some movement and blood flow happening through the hips as well here. Let's do 2 more. Stretch it out. And join both legs together, hug them into chest, and again, rock the spine side to side. Good. Center yourself, place your feet on the mat. Flatten all gaps. You're going to lift your left leg up into hands to knee, stretching the other leg down to the mat. Opposite hand to the knee. You're going to draw this leg across the body as you go into a glute stretch. Lengthen your other arm, opposite arm, out long across the mat, and try and anchor your shoulder blades as you pull your knee across your body. Don't worry when you take it up to here. Just go with what feels good and just find that twist through the spine. See if you can release further into it, getting that knee closer to the floor. Keeping the shoulder blades flat on the mat. And then release and change. You're going to take the other leg up to the opposite hand, stretch the arm out, and carry it across the body. Good. Try and keep those 2 shoulder blades anchored down on that mat. Stretch that other arm out long. And then see, can that knee get any closer to the mat? Lift it a bit higher or lower, depending on where you need to take that stretch to. And then bring it back to center. Good. From here, keep your arms in a T position, palms are facing up. I want you to lift one leg up into tabletop, keeping your pelvis nice and neutral. Now those hips have got to stay level and anchored. Imagine a bowl of water on your pelvis, and you want to keep the water that sits in this bowl nice and level and stable as you lift one leg up from the floor to bend 90 degrees. I often like to place my hands on my two hip bones here to feel that the two hip bones and pelvis is remaining stable and anchored as I move through this hip joint. And then take it over to the other side and see if anything changes, if it's just as easy. If you can keep the two level hip bones sitting in your hands equally without dropping and sinking a hip in order to lift a leg. And then notice that your movement is coming from your hip joint, not from your knee joint. The knee joint is staying still, consistently flexed and bent. And then we're lifting up the thigh from the hip joint. Good. Place it down and rest it there. Under this T position, step your feet apart just as wide as your mat. I want you to collapse your knees gently to one side or to the right side. Keep those shoulder blades flat down. And then take your right foot on your left knee to draw the left knee down further. This is if your legs are collapsing to the right side now. Then you will take your right foot on your left knee. If you're collapsing on the left, you take your left foot on your right knee. Drawing it down further, just trying to find a nice stretch along the thigh. And then release, lifting the knees and dropping them over to the other side gently. Keep those shoulder blades anchored. Draw those knees down. We are on the left side now, so we lift the left foot up onto the right knee and try to press it down further, deepening that stretch, deepening that long line from hip to knee. Good. And then gently releasing it and bringing it up. I want you to lift one leg up to tabletop. Keep it there. And then I want you to, as you tuck that toe down, to lift the other leg up to tabletop. So there will be a second where both feet are in the air. That you've got to try and now maintain a stable pelvis as you move through these leg lifts. So think of the weight and the pressure of the lower back and tailbone in the mat. Try and keep it equally weighted, equal pressure as you lift and change your legs. You don't want to feel like you pressing your bum further down into the mat. Good. Just switch and change. And if this is too much, you leave one foot on the floor, place it down, and lift the other leg up. So think of a little bit of a march. But either way, the main focus is still keeping the pelvis nice and stable as you lift up those legs. Good, 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 good. Now, one leg up in tabletop. Clasp your hands behind your knee and thigh. You're going to extend that knee, stretch and flex the foot as well. Bend and release. Extend the knee, flex the foot, stretch and release. Again, stretching through your knee, flexing your foot. Even if your straight leg needs to be a bit lower, it's okay. Wherever you're getting that stretch, press into it. And because you're holding on, you can't cheat dropping the leg too low. You've really got to lift up that straight leg as you stretch and release. 3 more. Flex that foot, squeeze. And release. 2 more. Stretch. Dropping the toes to the nose as you press and lift your heel. Bend. 1 more. Hold that stretch. And then pulse that leg towards your body, using your arms and hands grip behind the thigh, just to challenge and deepen that stretch a bit further. Try not to bend the knee while doing this pulse. You don't want to compensate. Stretch through your leg. 3, 2, 1. Bend that knee and place it down. Excellent. Pelvis stays neutral. Lift the other leg to tabletop. Interlace the fingers, clasp them behind the thigh, and then let's go into single leg stretch, flex the foot as well, gentle bend and release. And again, exhale. And especially if we've been sitting a lot, we're going to feel quite tight at the back of the legs, the back of the knees and thighs. And we just got to do this more regularly and consistently to try and loosen this up and get us out of the same sort of tightness, the same place all the time. Stretch. Pull up into that thigh, squeeze, flex that foot, and release. Good. Toes to nose, flex that heel up, 2 more. One more, flex and hold it there. Little pulses, drawing that leg higher up. Deeply stretching the back of the leg while engaging the thigh to keep that knee straight. 5, 4, 3, pulse it, 2, 1, and bend to release it. Well done. Interlace your fingers behind your head, supporting the base of your skull, allowing yourself to let your head weight rest into your hands. So we can now use the abdominals to lift us on the chest raise rather than straining the neck, okay? This can be quite tough and challenging, especially if you've got a lot of neck strain and neck ache. You want to practice this, even if you don't lift as high. Your head stays weighted in your hands and your tummy lifts you up. Exhale into chest lift. How high do you lift in a chest lift? As high as it takes to get those shoulder blades off the mat without jamming in the neck. Notice what happens in the pelvis here. You don't want to tilt that pubic bone up with a little scoop. Avoid it. Remain in neutral and keep your tailbone anchored on the mat as you lift your chest up. Exhale, chest up, and inhale down. This is to start building that abdominal strength and support which we need to carry us out through all our movements. Hinging at the rib cage, flexing the spine at the same point each time, and having your little cushion under you is going to make it a lot less tiring on the neck. But still pay attention to lifting shoulder blades off of your mat. 3 more. 2 more, chest lifting up on the exhale, keeping the pelvis neutral. 1 more, hold it there, and if you're feeling brave, reach and stretch your fingertips and pulse up. 10 little pulses higher up. Don't drop down, only lift higher. 3, 2, 1, and rest it down. Good. Lift your arms up overhead. Deep breath in, lifting your chest, stretching your abdominal muscles. And then releasing your arms back down. From there, I want you to lift one leg up into tabletop position, remaining neutral in the pelvis. Whatever leg you've lifted, you're going to place the same hand just on the top of your thigh. And you're going to press your knee into your hand, and you're going to press your hand into your knee while you lengthen the other arm up overhead. And gentle release. Knee pressure in hand and gentle release. Keep neutral pelvis, everything else remains stable, gentle release. Knee press up into hand and release. Make sure you're not lifting the hip up to the rib, but rather the knee into the hand, and feel how it fires. 2 more, gently release. 1 more, press that knee up into the hand and release it down. Very good. Bringing that other hand up and over as you lift the leg into tabletop. Place your hand on top of your thigh, keeping your neutral pelvis. Starting to apply pressure, knee into hand and hand into knee, keeping the neutral pelvis, lifting the other arm, opposite arm up overhead. Now be mindful that you didn't tilt and twist your hips here, that you kept them in neutral and that they level, that you're imagining this and creating the space between your hips and your ribs. You're lifting your knee and thigh up into your hand, not hiking your hip up into your rib. Gentle release and press and lift up. Gentle release. Think of a modified variation of getting prepared for the dead bug exercise. Knee in hand, pressure, gentle release. Finding the hip flexors working, the top of the core, and release. 2 more. Knee to thigh, knee to hand, sorry. Gentle release. 1 more. Pressure, without the hip hiking up, gently release and place it down. Well done. Placing your feet on the mat. We're going to do some pelvic curls now. Sorry, I lost my jam. There we go. Okay. Feet are now together. Hands at your sides. For your pelvic curl, I want you to remove your pillow and flatten all gaps through the spine from the top to the bottom. Reach your fingertips long. Open up your chest, take a nice deep breath in. Tuck in your pelvic floor, draw your belly in, making a nice hollow tummy. As you lift your pubic bone, gently tilting the pelvis now, lengthening out that tailbone. And then releasing the tailbone back down to neutral pelvis. Again, belly in, tilt and lift the pubic bone, lengthen out that tailbone, and then release the hips to neutral. When you suck up and draw and tilt in to tilt the pelvis here, you want to pull in from your deepest abdominal layer. So don't think of that six-pack activation. Soften the six-pack, suck in the belly, and activate that deeper layer, that TA layer. Little tilts and release. Once you've got that, you're going to tilt the pelvis and continue rolling up through those hips one vertebra at a time. As high as you can. Without popping those ribs, draw the rib cage down, tuck and lift the pubic bone, breathe in. Exhale, keeping those hips nice and high, start rolling down slowly through the spine, one vertebra at a time. From the top to the bottom, and then release your pelvis down to that neutral. Again, inhale through your nose. Starting with just a gentle tilt, creating movement in lower spine. Exhale, continuing, rolling up, still drawing in the tummy layers, all those muscles. Squeeze the bum, try to keep those knees close together, inner thighs active. Exhale, roll down slowly. Slowly, really articulating down one vertebra at a time. All the way down to neutral. Breathe in. Exhale, finding that abdominal activation, rolling the hips up. Up nice and high there. Make sure you're stretching out the back of the neck. Squeezing glutes, tucking your pelvic floor. If you're feeling any lower back pain, you need to get a deeper scoop, a deeper tilt and tuck so that you get out of those lower back muscles more into glutes and pelvic floor, okay? Drop down and get a better scoop and then lift up from there. Inhale to pause and exhale to roll down. One vertebra at a time. Excellent. Good. From here, we're going to lift one leg up into tabletop. We're going to try and lift the hips up, bridging them up. So tuck in that belly, scoop and press the hips up. Doesn't matter how high they lift, and release down. Look at your two hips. Make sure you're not leading with lifting one hip higher than the other. They've got to lift equally together. Exhale up, inhale down, little lift, scoop and drop. Trying to now start strengthening the glute and hamstring for some nice lower back support, but you've got to scoop in with that pelvic floor support. Doesn't help to let the tummy go and hang into the back. Good, 2 more. Scoop, lift. 1 more, find the hamstring in the glute and place it down. Rest that foot, keep your neutral, and lift the other leg up in tabletop. Good. Feel that the level hip bones remain as you lift up and down. Exhale, bridge the hips up. And I like to keep my hands on my two hip bones here, imagining a ruler across my hips. And imagining that it remains level as I lift up equally. And then I can immediately feel if I need to lift more or less from one side. And then I can feel, oh, okay, this is where I need a little bit more activation to stay aligned through the movement. Two more, lifting up. Good. One more, hold it up and place it down. Both feet on the mat. Fist distance between your knees and feet. I want you to inwardly rotate. So toes in, heels apart. Little bit different. Pelvic curl holding inwardly rotation. So the toes together. Okay, that inward rotation does become from the hips and pelvis, believe it or not. Breathing through the nose to prepare. Start with tilting, scooping, elevating pubic bone. You've got a little bit of space between your knees, and then you roll those hips up one vertebra at a time. Keeping the inward rotation. Make sure your toes are on the mat. Breathe in. Exhale, control the roll down from the top of the spine through to the mid and then to the lower back. And repeat. Hold that inward rotation. Scoop, tuck, and curl, lifting up. As high as feels okay without jamming in that lower spine. Exhale, roll down. Create a nice movement through that lower spine, but also strength and support. Tilt the pelvis. Exhale, roll the hips up. Inhale at the top and then roll it down. Slowly, we're going for one more. Breathing in, starting with the curl, sucking your belly, pull the belly and imagine your navel touching your spine. Lift your pubic bone and roll your hips up nice and high. Hips nice and high, stay there. Now lift your toes up off of the mat, going into dorsiflexion. Keep pubic bone emphasis up on the rise. Hold those toes up. Now parallel, straightening with feet in line with the knees. And then roll down slowly, keeping the toes off of the mat. One vertebra at a time, down to neutral. Lift up the heels, flatten the feet, flex it through the feet. So I want you to just point, dorsiflex and plantar flex. Moving through the feet, moving through the ankles, and bringing your pillow back. Good. Lifting your right leg up to your left knee and going into a couple of ankle circles. Good. Nice deep rotation, big circles. Leading with the toe, really circling, scooping, working through that whole quad, all those lower leg muscles, and then change that direction. Keep the circles as big as you possibly can. And then resting it there, we're just going to go into our supine glute stretch. So interlace your fingers behind your knee and hamstring. As you pull your legs up into your glute stretch, keep the other leg nice and open. Keep your spine nice and flat and just breathe here. Trying to really keep that tailbone glued down as you lift and draw up through the legs to the chest and release it back down. Good, changing to the other leg. Placing your ankle to your knee and then just starting with those rotations. These are so delicious. Big circles, scoop and squeeze. And sometimes it helps to watch your foot because sometimes you think you're doing circles, but it may be a little triangle. And you've got to keep it round, keep that mind to muscle action happening. and then change direction. Just remembering that through all your synovial joints, there is no direct blood supply in cartilage, and it's only through movements and through manipulation, circulation that you get in blood there. So it's so important to just give some simple loving to all of our joints. And then interlace the fingers, drawing up into that glute stretch. Trying to open up the other knee's hip as you just hold it here, keeping that tailbone glute down on the mat, and just breathing for a moment. Good, and then gently releasing it down, and then rolling onto your side body in this position. I want you here to definitely make sure you've got a little something that you're comfortable with, your head aligned with your spine. Most importantly, your spine is in a straight line. You don't want to lay diagonally across the mat. Use your mat to help show you that you are aligned. The space between your hip and the edge, and the space between your shoulder and the edge is the same. And then when that spine is in that straight line, you can draw the knees up, okay? Tuck the feet in slightly and just keep that 90 degrees. So that would be sort of 90 degrees, a little bit less, less than 90 degrees with the feet closer to the knees, okay? Your other hand can keep you nice and stable here. And what I want you to do is lift your top leg up, okay? Hold it hovering there. Good. Notice your knee and your foot need to be in the same straight line. So you don't want to lift your foot higher than your knee. You don't want to lift your knee higher than your foot. You've got to lift your knee and your foot together as one unit. They lift as one, up or lower as one, okay? Once you can do that, being aware that your hips here are staying steady, stacked, and stable. They are not moving. You don't want to roll back or forward through the hip in order to lift the leg. You really want to keep those nice square stacked hips and then lift that knee and foot equally, okay? Holding it there. Remember, you can use this hand to keep you stable and steady if you want. Keep mind on the two hips here. As you now take your knee back, okay? You're not stretching the leg, the knee, or bending it more. You're lengthening the knee away from the hip, going into more of a hip stretch here. You've got to fire a bit into your glute to maintain this. From there, with the knee, lift the knee up into a circle. These hips are not rolling, they're staying steady and stacked. Here comes the knee back forward, knee and foot together. Hovering, don't collapse in each rep. Just hold it hovering. Let's try it again. So the hips stay square and stacked. You're not stretching or bending. Your knee joint is still. We're moving through the hip joint, finding that glute support. Extend the hip, drawing the knee back. Control the stability of the hips. Can the knee go back further? Hold it there. Don't let the foot collapse to the floor. Now lift that knee up. Go for it. Up. Find the glute. Pick the outside of the heel up with the knee, bringing it back around. Hovering still. The hip is not rolling forward. It's staying stacked. And if you're feeling that almost instant fatigue after one rep, you're doing it correctly. Good. Then continue with this movement. Knee back. Extend. Find the glute activation. Pick up the knee. So if you were to be drawing circles here, this is what we're doing, our circles, the pen would be coming out of the knee, the koki. So drawing the circles with the knee. We go back, because we want to draw a big circle. Back, squeeze. Then when you can't go anymore without the hips rolling back, you lift that knee up, circle it around. Okay? There is so much room needed to get more activation in that glute. Tell them what I mean. So taking it back, because sometimes we're so often working into the quad and the thigh, not really engaging the glute. So the whole purpose here is find the glute, squeeze, lift up, Can you hold it there? Up all the way. Bring it round and land it down. Very good. Well done. Okay. From there, bringing your arms out in front of you, still on your side here. Feet in the same position. Hands together. Thanks for the love, Yaki. Reaching your arms long here. They're in line with your shoulder. Not above, not below. Same principle with the hips. You're not hanging, dropping forward or backwards. Keeping the hands together, look, are the fingertips at equal length? You're not hanging back. Staying strictly on your side in your two glass planes. Think of a bow and arrow here. Knees are staying pinned together as your top arm draws that bow back. We keep this hand at the chest, twisting, looking to the ceiling, getting that elbow back to the floor without the knees sliding past one another. And release it back. So isolate that upper rotation through the spine. Breathe in, twist, pull that arrow back from your bow. Elbow reaches for the floor behind you. Hip stays there. Knees not sliding back. Release. And again, breathe in. Go for that inhale. Elbow back. Twist, 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 twist. And release it. Now clock arm, straight arm, lifted all the way up. Here she comes again. Knees stacked, open up. Can you get 2 flat shoulder blades? Maybe today, maybe not. Look to your hand and fingers and bring it back up and over. 2 more, hips stacked together. Inhale, open that, clock arm and hand, twist. Look towards it. Reach, get those shoulder blades flat down. Bring it back up and over. One more time, breathing in. Rotate, twist, reach. 2 shoulder blades down, knees together, hips not moving, and bringing it back. Well done, well done. From here, lifting yourself up, swinging yourself around to the other side. Hey! Okay, laying down on your side. Align your spine in a nice straight line. Bend your knees slightly, stack your hips. Good. Hand on top can keep you stable. And then ready to lift up that top leg. Knee and foot up together as one unit, hovering, stay there. Check in with your hips. They are stacked on top of one another and not moving. Okay? Hand can help you if you need to. Inhale, taking that knee back. The knee stays steady. The goal is first getting your knee directly down towards your feet and the wall. Then see if the knee can go back further. And then from there, lifting that knee up, keeping those stacked hips as high as you can. All the way, finishing that circle, hovering above the other leg. Again, knee back. Inhale, here's the hip extension. Here's the glutes activation in order to extend the hips. Go for it further. Lift it up higher, stabilizing leg here. Up, 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 knees, big circle round and hover. Good. Concentrate on what you're doing. Take it back. Keep steady, keep stable. Notice that the foot's not collapsing to the floor or kicking up higher than inwardly dipping the knee down. It's got to stay level in line. Knee back further, get more glute activation. Feel the glute, doesn't feel like it's firing. Pick that knee up, circle it round, and hover. Good. Repeat, breathing in. Back, far, round, and up. Just giving some love and support to the hip joints, especially if you're doing a lot of sitting in the days. It's not normal to sit hours on end. So we really need to take some time to just do a couple of these hip stretches, openers and strengtheners. We're going to do one more now. Staying steady, hips not moving, stacked as that knee goes back further if you can. Then lifting it up, 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 up nice and wide, all the way rested down. Okay. Lengthen and extend those arms in front of you. Let's start with the bow. Inhale, you're going to pull back with that top arm, rotating up the spine, keeping knees together, drawing that elbow back to the floor behind you. And release it. These ones are so nice to do with breath, but be strict with the knees staying together. Inhale. Inhale, twisting back. Big inhale, inhale, inhale. Hold your inhale when you can't inhale anymore. Exhale, release the spine. One more. Breathing in, hips not rolling back. Knees staying together. Elbow through the floor. And release it. Good. Let's open it up in a T position now. Pluck, arm. Inhale, twisting spine. Try to get that arm or fingers to the floor or close to the floor. Shoulder blades want to draw down and anchor where you can manage without knees sliding. Exhale, release. Don't lose the knees and hips. Otherwise, hold your stretch in your position at your point. It's fine. Twist on that inhale. Exhale, releasing it. Lovely. One more. Breathing in. Twist, 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 twist. Knees stay together. And releasing. Exhale. Bringing it back up. Well done. From there, lift yourself up. And I want you to be in a seated position. Just with your hands back behind you here. Open your feet a little bit wide. And just see how is the mobility and the range in those hips. Dropping your knees, collapsing them to one side. Lifting them up and over to the other side. Just moving through these rolls. See where you're at. Can both knees land on the floor? They can. Excellent. Keep your hands in one position. Good. Just moving through those hip joints. I call this the swivel. Good. And then staying in this position, which is an open mermaid. Bend leg in front, bend leg to the side of you. For some of you, depending on the tightness, you may want to just prop yourself up on a cushion here. And then that may feel a lot better depending. Okay? If you don't need the cushion, don't use the cushion. From here, I want you to just take your hands gently forward, as far forward as you can, as far forward as the hip will allow you, and find yourself a little glute stretch. And then lifting yourself up and then seeing that back leg. Can you lift that back leg's foot up and down? If you need your hands on the mat, that's fine. But I want you to bring your hip forward, squeeze your glute, and lift that foot up. If you don't need the hands, don't use the hands as you lift your back foot up and down. Sometimes sitting in this position, you can almost feel that you want to instantly spaz or cramp. And it's just the body and muscles in a bit of shock, and you need to do it more often. Stretch into these areas, move and groove into these hips. Good, and then release it. Top leg, try and lift it up, the whole leg. Foot and knee, inner thigh, okay? If you need to have your hands to hold onto the floor, that's fine. If you don't need the hands, don't use the hands. Using that inner thigh to pick up. We're looking at the foot specifically here. Lift the foot up. Try and lift it just as high as you lift that knee up. Good. 3 more. 2 more. Pick it up. 1 more. Pick it up and release it. Lovely, lovely, lovely. On the side where your outside leg is, where the foot is behind you, place that hand on the floor. Take a deep breath in with your arm up and over into a side stretch here, and drop that shoulder. Let your head hang. Let your spine hang. let your arm hang, just create a nice opening on the side of your body. Don't worry too much about how it looks, how you're doing it. Just get a nice stretch on the side. And then rotate the chest down, roll it around, and lift yourself up. We're going to change those legs now. So you're going to swing those feet forward and change it around. So the other leg is in front of you now, and the other leg to the side, back behind. Just think of squaring off your angles, squaring off your joints, trying to keep equal and even in your position here. And then gently walking the hands forward as far as feels good for you, and just finding a glute stretch. Stay equally pressed through your hands as you come down and forward here. You really don't want to sink and collapse into the hip. Center yourself, center your weight. Otherwise, stay at the position where you can maintain and control it. If you lose control of it, then take it back a few notches. Good, releasing yourself up. Back leg, lifting that foot up. Remember, hands can be on the mat if you need to. Okay, bringing that hip slightly in. And what are we doing to lift the foot up? We're waking up the glutes. Okay, we're getting out of the quads and working into the glutes, trying to get them to start working. So often they're sleeping. You don't need the hands, don't use the hands. You don't feel those stabilizing muscles working, even a bit of obliques. Let's go 3 more. Foot up. 2. 1 more. And release. Good. Take it over to the front leg. Let's see. Hands, use them or not. It's okay. But if you don't need to, make it challenging. Don't use them. You're looking at the foot. Squeeze that inner thigh. Lift that foot up. Pick it up. Can you hold it for a second or 2 and then release it down. Squeeze and hold, and gentle release. Lift and squeeze, and gentle release. That's it. Not so easy. Is it much easier on this side, more challenging on the other side? What do you feel? What do you notice? Are you noticing anything? Pay attention. Listen to your body. 2 more. Lift it up. Last one. Up, and release. Excellent. 2 feet together. Let's stretch out those inner thighs. Good. Just finding a nice hip opening here. You can press your hands into your knees. So I think of creating a nice flat back, so lengthen out the spine as you press into that stretch rather than hunching and rounding. Lift that chest. Take your shoulders back. Chest is out. You can tug onto your shins to deepen this. Good, and release it. Let's go into a deeper hip stretch. So what I want you to do here is just in a 4-point kneeling, you're going to separate your knees, okay? I'm doing a slight diagonal. And then you'll notice if you come forward in a stretch like this, you're not going to really feel much stretch, but if you can shift your weight back slightly, keeping the knees as wide as you possibly can, you're going to feel an inner thigh stretch and opening, okay? You can open up the feet, you can keep them together, okay? Probably a little bit more challenging opening the feet up, aligning the ankles with the knee, but try both. Feel the difference, feel the movement of that hips, of that hip socket, of the thigh bone in the hip socket as you move the foot position. Lean back slightly, gently press into it. And here's where you need to make sure that your mat is thick enough, or this is going to be too sore on the knees. Although you can place a little bit of towel or padding under there. See if you can drop down, or maybe slide the knees further apart. And hold that hip stretch. You can slightly sway side to side, just inviting a little bit of movement, or you can remain steady, it's okay. Keep putting weight back into it. Few more seconds, stretching it out here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Gently lifting yourself up. Slowly bringing those knees back together. Oh, good. That's it. Okay. Onto hands and knees, still in 4-point kneeling position here. Okay, stacking your shoulders on top of your wrists and your hips on top of your knees, creating a nice neutral spine. Elongate the back of your neck. Good. Make sure you're not tucking or rounding. And then I want you to stretch out that left leg, squeeze that thigh. You haven't dropped a hip, they're still level, nothing changes. And then reach out the opposite arm ahead of you, and when you're ready, notice that you're not hanging the shoulder, you're keeping level and stack. When you're ready, float the opposite arm and opposite leg up. Now, if this is too much, you can just lift the leg up. Okay? Hold your balance, find your balance, and press away from the mat as you square your shoulders and your hips. Squeeze and engage into your glutes as you lift and lengthen that leg up higher. Hold it. Tuck in your belly. You should feel 0 lower back ache. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in gently, knee and hand. Staying square, neutral level spine. Extend the other leg back now. Draw up into that thigh. Tuck the toes. Lengthen the other arm away from you. Press your hand into the mat, squaring your shoulders, squaring your hips. Lift the arm and leg up on your inhale, lengthening them out of their joints. Hold it there. Squeezing that glute, extending the front of the hip, using your inner thigh. Don't let your head drop and hang here. Think of the long lines you're creating. Tuck in your belly. The hips are still level. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently bringing that knee, gently bringing that hand. We're going to thread the needle stretch here. So right arm threads the needle under the left wrist. We place the shoulder down and the head on the pillow. You don't need the pillow. You can do it without. Up to you. Lifting that hand off the mat, twist the upper spine, looking to the hand to the ceiling, okay? Or maybe you're just here, pressing your hand into the mat, finding that stretch between the shoulder blades. Try and keep equal weight between both knees. And then gently bring the hand down, lift and support yourself up to 4-point kneeling. Thread your left arm now under the right wrist. Place shoulder down, place head down. Twist the spine away from the mat, press hand and arm into mat. When you're ready, lift the opposite arm up. Look to those fingers, stretch in that spine twist. Breathing. Feels a lot tighter for me on this side. Place the hand down, gently support yourself back up to hands and knees. Good. Staying on hands and knees now. You're going to lift one knee up, take a step forward. I'm going with my right. Stepping forward and then bringing the hips and pelvis forward here. Again now, creating an opening in the hip, especially if you've been sitting a lot. This is what you want to do. Lengthen out that back. Try and lift your chest up a bit. Try and lift the hands off the floor. Tuck in the belly. Get a nice hip stretch. Squeeze that glute. Good. Place the hands onto the mat. Twist to the right. Lift up the opposite arm. Take that arm, reach it back away from you. Tuck it to cross to the opposite hip. Now we're looking at the twist of the spine, the opening of the collarbones. And then lift that arm, reach it up, take it back away from you. Up and round. And place it down. Gently pull back into a hamstring stretch. Flex your foot, it's going to make a difference. Flatten out your spine. Pull back and square your hips here. Gently bend the knee, bringing the weight forward, take it back and let's change. We lift the other leg up. Nice big step forward. Bring the hips and pelvis forward. Start opening up that hip, tucking in the belly. When you're ready, lift those hands up onto the knee and thigh. Finding a deeper stretch, opening up that hip. Squeezing that glute in the back. And then placing your hands back down on the mat and twisting the spine towards the left side of the body. Take that arm back behind you as far as you can. Wrap it behind your lower back to touch the opposite hip. Twist the spine, opening those collarbones, and then reach that arm back up, stretching your elbow. Big circle, up and over, all the way. Place it down. Exhale, pull back gently, and stretch that hamstring here. Again, flatten the spine, flexing your foot. Elongating the back of your neck. Good. Keep the hips square. And then gently release, bend it, place it forward. Take the knee back. And I want you to lay on your tummy here. Okay, so if you want, you can have your pillow here. If you don't need to. Okay, optional. In this position, though, I need you to tuck in your belly as if you're laying on a little ice cube. Bending one knee, flex the foot. Tucking in your belly, you're laying on that ice cube and it's cold, so you zip your belly in and you just want to lift your knee up off the mat. Okay? I want you to pay attention to the two hip bones, that they're equally weighted on the mat, or that you're trying to keep them as bestly equally weighted as you can while lifting up and down. Tucking in your belly so that you're not using your lower back muscles, that you're finding a hamstring, but most importantly, that glute working to extend the hip, lifting knee up. Let's do 4 more. Little squeeze, knee angles not changing, not moving. 2 more. Last one, keep the knee lifted. Keep the knee lifted as you stretch that leg and lower it down. Marvelous. Keep tucking in the belly, lengthening that tailbone, equal hip weight. Bending the other knee now, flexing the foot. Stay tucking as you flex and lift the knee up and down. Good. Maintain your inner thigh activation here. You don't want your knee flying out away from you, okay? Squeeze, flex, lift. Good. What happens on the side? Find that glute connection. Lift the knee up. Think of creating a longer thigh. Knee away from hip. 3 more. We lift it up. Equal hip weight. 2. Feedback. I'm feeling my hips here. Last one. Hold it up. Level out the weight of the hips. Extend the knee. And then place it down. Wonderful. Stretch your arms out along your spine, along your sides. I want you to place your forehead on the floor. From here, you're going to lift your palms are facing up. You're going to lift your arms up as high as you can. Stretch your elbows, stretch your fingers. Lift up as high as you can. As high as you can. Going wide, I want you to rotate your wrists now. And your palms are facing down as you take a big circle of the arms up, over, and down to the floor. Good. From there again, reach those arms up like a star. Lift up wide. Go for it. Up, up, up. And then rotate the wrists behind you and bring the palms back down. Okay, really working through mobilizing shoulders here. Again, stretch those arms. Keep the forehead down. Open up as high and wide as you can. Rotate those palms and then bring it down. Again, lifting up. Breathing in. Up to the ceiling. We rotate the wrists and palms facing down and bring them up. 2 more times we go. Reaching, think of a nice star, reaching wide up to the ceiling. We rotate the palms and bring the palms down. And again, breathing in, lift them up, up, circle them, rotate the palms and place it down. Well done. Hands at your side, bring yourself up onto hands and knees. Okay, I want you to do a cat stretch here, so keeping shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Take a deep breath in, exhale, you're going to round, scoop, tuck and flex your spine up. Stretch the back of the neck, tucking in the belly. Inhale, lengthen and extend. Just trying to move through the vertebrae. Exhale, round spine, lift up. Inhale, lengthen and extend. Lift that breastbone forward and up. One more time. Exhale, scoop, tuck, pull in. And then inhale, gently release, lengthen. Good. And then in this position, I want you to tuck your toes, lift up into the upside down V and stretch out the back of the legs. Try flatten your feet, push away from your hands, creating that V triangle position. Align your ears with the sides of your arms, and then you're going to start lifting in those heels as you push that pedal. One at a time, straighten and stretch the leg. Good. Just stretch it out. Keep pressing away from your hands and lifting your sit bones up. 5 more. 3, 2, 1. Good. Both heels down. Walk your hands slowly and gently to your feet. Soften those knees, tucking your belly, start rolling the spine up, restacking those vertebrae nice and tall. Breathing in, take those arms back, circle them up and around, lifting your chest. Diving your arms down, nod your chin, exhale, start that roll down, sectionally rolling down through that spine. Hang into it. Leave your hips and knees behind. Just allow that spine to free itself. And then exhale, tuck, scoop, roll it back up. Good. 1 more of those, breathing in. Nice wide lungs. Lifting that chest, nod the chin. Exhale, hinging at the ribs, roll it down. Just unpack that spine. Hanging over there, take a deep breath in. Exhale, roll gently and slowly back up all the way through the spine, lifting the head up and just rolling those shoulders, rolling them out. Excellent. Well done, everybody. And that is that. I hope you enjoyed your beginner routine and feeling lovely. Thank you for sharing your time and hope to see you soon.